on. Oh, recording. Oh. It's fantastic. It's fantastic and lovely that we're all sort of here together. And thank you for joining me and us all on this sort of masterclass journey. And the intention for me in this series, because there are the 3 sessions, is for us to focus on and expand the joy in our laughter yoga. Okay, it's laughter yoga for joy. Okay. So it's not laughter yoga for exercise. It's not laughter yoga for laughter. It's laughter yoga for joy. And the in my experience, one of the things we'll be covering in the masterclass in this series is that how when we start with the joy, all the other things follow. And we'll explore a bit of sort of this, that, and the other, and we'll do some amazing sort of this, that, and the other, and we'll have an absolutely wow, this, that, and the other sort of kind of time. And really, my invitation for us all really is just to be here. As we're here, let's be here. And one of the most helpful things I find is he says, looking for his flashcard that he's managed to mislay. Oh my goodness. It's the one that says, I'm going to find it. Wait. I tell you, it just doesn't work for me getting things ready a day in advance, because it's only when I have things at the last minute that I know where they are. Anyway, the I wrote out said, abandon expectations, all ye who enter here.
Nice.
And so provided we can just constantly just sort of be here without any expectations, then the one thing I can guarantee is we'll all have the perfect experience, and with a fair wind we'll all have a fantastic experience, because on the whole, in a sort of joy-based context, the now is always pretty fantastic. So just be a constant reminder just to be here and just to be here. Cool beans? Okay,
cool beans.
It's always fantastically useful and interesting, and it's a part of the experience together to hear a bit about for everybody here to hear a little bit about everybody else, not in a Shakespearean sort of monologue. But more kind of sort of brief and to the point, so one or two bullet points, and maybe some kind of sort of and then the cherry on the cake is some personal piece of information that you're happy to share that might be sort of completely irrelevant, because these are often the most interesting and exciting and and engaging things that we have to offer. So who would like to go first?
Okay, I can do Joe.
Yes, Martin.
Yeah, I want to make sure
First of all, let's just give Martin a little round of applause for being the first to volunteer.
Yeah. Yeah, I wanted to wait because I'm not sure I understood well. It's just that I talk about something. Okay, tell me again. Just talk about something.
One or two bits of information about you.
Okay.
About you, Martin. About you.
Fine. So I'm. It's been 61 years I am on this earth. So yeah, I'm very very happy with that because I have so many good things in my luggage, or my.
Yes. Yep.
So, okay. So in 2016, I followed the leader course with Linda Leclerc to be a laughter yoga leader. And I live in a very small town up north of Montreal. It says Nord du Québec in Chibougamau. It's like, and as you understand with my accent, I'm a French speaker in Quebec. Yeah. So, since March 2020, with the COVID, as Linda created this program, Urgence Rire. So I'm part of this laughter yoga emergency. It's like 10 minutes, 10 minutes for the session. Each day there are 2, 3, or 4, and I'm part of and I host 2 of them. And with this COVID, I really thanks, you will say she's, I thanks to COVID, I know you all.
Yes. Yes.
And I discovered the laughter yoga family, and it's so wonderful, and it's very helpful to go through this period. We're now to share everything. So that's it.
Thank you very much.
Happy to be here too with you, Joy, Joy, and the other ones.
Thank you. Who would like to go next? Yes, Marianne. Yes.
So I just wanted to share this sort of collage I made a long time ago. I put my 5-year-old self in the middle of the collage. It's kind of falling apart. It's kind of old, but I thought that was very telling. And it was later that I discovered laughter yoga. And I work with clay, and I teach something called process painting. And I was asked to do a workshop in October with laughter. She goes, "Can you do the clay? Yeah, teach the clay, but can you do that like laughter thing beforehand?" And so then I was thinking yesterday, like, oh, like we'd laugh while we were doing the clay. So that's what I wanted to share.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Now, what I'm going to suggest is that if you want to go next, press the, if you look at sort of reactions, sort of raise your hand or give a thumbs up or something. It might be a bit easier for me to notice, right? Rather than doing that, because if you do that, I might not notice. So, who? Oh, there we are. Yes, I noticed. So we're going from Mary to Mary. Oh, great.
So thank you, Joe, for having me here. I'm very excited to learn from the master. I'm 40 years on this planet Earth. Yeah, you. I discovered laughter yoga 2017, and it's been a big part in my life since this time, actually, but I did not practice as much as I did the last year.
Yeah.
It was only when I was teaching, then I facilitated the laughter yoga, but I did not do it as a daily practice like I do now. And it really brings me a lot of joy and strength throughout the day, also with the children. It's always challenging. It's always been challenging as a single mom, but now with the COVID, it was like, like that. And also what Martine said, to connect with laughter yogis all around the world. This is such a blessing, because I did not even know that there was a laughter yoga Facebook group, although I was very active on Facebook, but I never had the idea that I can find laughter yoga on Facebook. So it was a really good, a really great gift and a great discovery to meet you all.
Yeah.
So I'm very grateful and happy.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yes. And then there were 3, because I'll go last, you see. Oh, a hand's gone up. Hello, Ellie.
Hi, Nelly. I've just woken up, so I'm not quite woken up yet. And I've run out of milk, and it's really annoying because I'm surrounded by my favourite tea.
Oh.
I have it imported from England, and I really want a cup of tea, and I can't. But anyway, I discovered laughter yoga in, I think, 2016. I first did the leader course, and then 3 months later, I went to India. And I got the teacher training certificate with Madam Kataria. Ha 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 ha. And at the beginning of COVID, I lost my job. So I spent the last year learning a new job, which I absolutely love, but I've been neglecting my laughter yoga teaching, basically. So I'm here today to pick that back up again. I'd like to start teaching again. But I specifically would like a way to teach that doesn't drain my energy, and also one that is a little bit deeper than just the laughter exercises. I'm really into yoga. I'm really into meditation. I love mindfulness. I like the deep silence.
Yeah.
But I also want to use the laughter because that's the quickest way to. Because I had a very bad burnout in 2016, and it was laughter yoga that actually, it was my recovery, because I was doing all the other stuff, but it was so slow. When I found laughter yoga, and suddenly, oh my God, I can laugh. Oh my God, if I can laugh, I can do this. Oh, if I can laugh, I can do that. And it really helped me. So now I would like to help others who are basically maybe in a burnout or having a bit of a tough time to elevate their mood. So that's a bit about me.
Way. And then there were 2. Yes, Sherry-Ann. Yes.
I'm Sherry-Ann Kelly, and I just had my 75th birthday this past month. So it's sort of a big surprise, you know. And I live in northwestern Ontario, just at the very, very top of Lake Superior, just outside of Thunder Bay. And I just feel I've been finding so much joy in nature this past COVID. I do live in the bush, and my friends are the trees and the animals. And I just wanted to connect with, I just wanted to connect with everyone again, and you, Joe, and your work, because I love it. And so that's pretty well it. This is a busy time for us because we're trying to fight the black flies to get the garden in. So that's where we are right now. So there's a big wind today, so we'll be out this afternoon, my partner and I, and we'll be working in the garden. So, and I've been doing laughter yoga for a long time. I trained with Dr. Kataria in Orlando, and to become a laughter yoga teacher. And I met Joe in Toronto, I think it was, yes. And we had a great workshop then. And I've done, it's been quite amazing with Zoom. I've done a couple of workshops this past winter for agencies who needed laughter. And it worked out really well. So I'm quite grateful for Zoom. in that it works. We can connect with each other, and we can laugh, and we can, even though we can't touch each other, we can have that feeling of being together, of being present. And it's so wonderful. So I thank you for this, Jo. Thank you.
I'm very glad you made it, Sharon. Very glad you made it. And then there was one Philip.
Hello.
Very clever, yes.
Hello, everybody.
Yes.
I'm a laughter yoga baby in comparison. I did my first session properly, really, with Jo in December. So December, yeah, 6 months. I'm a 6-month-year-old laughter yoga baby.
Yeah, good.
And I just did the, I just did the leader training with Robert Rivest, with Jo's permission.
Wonderful.
Blessing.
That's so great.
Blessing, Philip, blessing.
Yeah,
An encouragement.
absolutely. But I love Jo's, the breathing and the moving and the smiling. I love your approach, Jo. So I'm just very happy to be back in the fold, the laughter fold. So thank you so much. And I'm in Berlin, by the way. I'm based in Berlin. Yeah.
Oh.
So it's well, it's great. It's just lovely. It's lovely that we're here, and one just slant for all this, all the way through, is a suggestion that we treat everything as material, right? So the whole experience as we go along, right, it's all part of the process. So the introduction is part of the process. The sharing is part of the process. It's all part of the joy process. So in a way, it started even before the Zoom started, for example, because I started the Zoom, made Mary co-host, disappeared, restarted my computer twice and my Wi-Fi once. But what if we treat all these things just as part of the process, right? And so one suggestion in this series, as it was on our sort of course together in Toronto, Sherry, what if we treat everything that happens as material? It's all we can sort of process it in our own way, and that's why letting go of any expectations helps. So we can just be present. We can, oh, here we are now. Oh, I wasn't expecting this. Oh, I don't know what I was expecting, but anyway, here we are. So one of the things my intention with this is just to bring a few sort of new insights and lots of practice into this. Because we reach a certain point in life where actually it's not about learning new information particularly. It's about maybe looking at things we already know, maybe in a slightly different way, from a slightly different perspective, and then practicing, and practicing, and when we don't know what to do next, practice. And in this case, so for example, so practice breathing and practice moving and practice just connecting with the innate joyfulness that exists within all of us. So so reminder number one is that it's all an inside job. The joy is already here. Really, all you need to do is pay attention and notice it, right? And maybe move a bit of our personal stuff out of the way, And the way we do that really is just by practicing being in the moment, practicing being in the moment, practicing being in the moment. And so my overall intention is that we must practice loads and loads, sort of being in the moment in the context of joy. And we'll do a bit of sort of la la la. So we'll use our body, and we'll use our breath, we'll use our mind, we'll use our awareness. But basically, everything's material. That's how I see it. And that's what I'm going to sort of suggest that we take on board as a possibility, that everything, sitting here now, having milk or not having milk, being surrounded by our favorite tea bags and not being able to drink it, well, there we are. That's kind of
I'm lazy to go to the shop.
So if you were really with it, Ellie, you would have an app, a corner shop app that meant that you could just press and the milk would be delivered.
That's usually my husband, but he's currently away, so I'll go to the shops tomorrow or after we finish.
So one quick question for everyone, and maybe again, let's perhaps do it in the same order that we did our intros, is why are you here? Not on an existential level, but we'll come to that later on. Why? Oh, yes. Oh, technology. 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 Oh my goodness me. So why did you decide to come? Why did you decide to come on the course? Maybe just in one sentence. In one sentence. So if we go in the same order that we went in before, that'd be sort of you to start with, Martine. And my camera will settle down in a moment, I know.
I received it's when I received your email, a personal email, because I haven't seen the other invitation, and the general information invitation, and then you send it to me. And I felt like, okay, that's for me. This is something I need to go. And joy is like my mission. It's the way I see it, to spread. I know. Anyways, that's my mission, and I really think that without the joy I have inside, my life and the life of the other ones wouldn't be as beautiful. Finish.
Thank you. No, just
it's weird to talk to you, and then nothing. For a person who's visual, it's very.
Okay, but go with the voice. Okay.
Yeah, I know.
Thank you, Marty. Marianne, how about you?
Yes. Well, I guess my initial approach to laughter yoga was getting people in, because I did it prior to art classes, getting people in their right brain, getting people in their bodies, and then I realized that really what I had to do was go deeper, do more meditation, do more mindfulness, and cultivate, that presence and joy in me and whatever, and to be more spontaneous about it. So that's why I'm here.
Yeah.
So thank you. I appreciate the offering.
Yeah. Perfect. Thank you. Perfect. Thank you. Mary.
Yes. I'm here because I want to go deeper to widen my horizon about laughter yoga, like a bit more the theory about it, to also be a better teacher, a better facilitator. That's why I'm here. So thank you very much.
Great. I am here, even though my camera is playing around. I am here. Okay.
Okay.
So Ellie, you were next.
Firstly, I would like to laugh more. And secondly, I think I would like to use laughter yoga specifically to inspire women to find their inner beauty by just being themselves. You don't need makeup or any crap on your face or body. You just need to be yourself. And I would really love to put myself to my highest frequency, so then I can share that and inspire others to do the same thing.
Fantastic, fantastic, lovely. Sherry Ann.
I had absolutely no intention of attending this course. And the reason was it's just a busy time for me. And then what happened was Joe sent me this letter, and it was a letter that I wrote to Joe after the course I attended, I don't know, a year ago, or maybe a year and a half ago. And it said how much I enjoyed it and how much I needed it. And I thought, oh yeah, I need to do this. Because it was a, thank you for sending me that letter, Joe, because that inspired me. It told me that, oh yes, you forget, like I forget. You go along taking a course and everything's great and fine. And then sort of what happens is you sort of forget where you know, about a lot of the joy parts. And then when you sent me the letter and my response to it, and I said, yes, I'm coming. So that's why I'm here. Thank you.
I'll tell you a secret, Sherry Ann. I kind of knew you needed to be here, because I remembered a conversation that we had after the last workshop you came to. And part of me, the knowing part of me, just it gave me a nudge to send you that email just as a reminder. So I'm glad.
Thank you for it.
Great. Philip.
Yes, I think I really resonated with a lot of what you were all saying, actually. I think I really like the positive embodied mindfulness bit. And I feel like laughter yoga has a real opportunity to be that. But I think I felt like I needed something a bit deeper, which I think is what a lot of people have been saying. So yeah, I think, I mean, this may or may not be that, but yeah, that's why I'm here.
Great, great. Well, I'm here to play with my technology. I didn't realize that's why I was here. But okay, so
So it's like you're in the moon, and you know the satellite send us the image. It's amazing. We can still see each other.
As long as you can see each other, that's the important thing. It doesn't matter if you
can still see you. Of course.
Okay, so what I feel would be helpful, you see, is to start by just putting a context around this series, and really, I suggest really to connect with and amplify and expand the joy element in laughter yoga, and therefore our life. In a way, all we need to do is feel. Learning point, feel. So the practice is practice feeling. And one of my encouragements will be sort of in the intervening weeks as we practice, for example, we practice feeling what it feels like to be feeling. Really, it's like like being aware and being aware of being aware, and then being aware of being aware of being aware. Right? So feeling what it feels like to be in feeling mode. Right? Because I think we're probably all happy with the joy starts in here. The joy starts in us. The joy is an inside job. right? And it's just here. And all we need to do is notice it. And the more we notice it, simply noticing it will start to expand it. So, so that's number one. Point number one is feel. The other context, contextualization that I love, it's a Zen saying. It's my favorite Zen saying, and which is, before enlightenment, chopping wood and carrying water. After enlightenment, chopping wood and carrying water. So on the outside, nothing changes. We carry on doing exactly everything that we do in our day-to-day life, because that's what life is. Fending off the black flies, you know, or ordering the milk, molding the clay. We carry on doing all the things that we carry on living and functioning in this world exactly as before, but it feels different. And so, so anyway, nothing changes, and because nothing changes, therefore everything changes. It's all different. It's all different. But to the outside eye, nothing might appear to be different. And the other thing I find incredibly helpful, and it drills down slightly more into how we might actually sort of use our own laughter yoga practices. It's one of the Stephen Covey quotes from 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, and it's begin with the end in mind. Always know where you're going. So in a session or on a task or anything, always have the end point in mind. That relates back to sort of knowing why we're doing this. This is where we stray into existential territory. Because when we remember why we're here, why we're alive, right? That then gives us to know, oh, right, I'm doing this because, you know, this is why I'm doing it. So begin with the end in mind. And there we are, really. Now we can really just sort of practice enjoying ourselves, I suppose. Does that contextualization help? Is it helpful? Is it useful? Does it make sense? Yeah. Is there any sort of comment or question or anything that you'd like to sort of ask or inquire about that, or are we happy just to take that as a platform and move on?
Yeah.
Great. So, and of course, yeah, at the heart of it all, of course, is stillness. And so we will dip in and out of stillness, right? But no, so for example, laughter yoga changes when we realize that actually probably of all the exercises we might do, the stillness is possibly the most important, because the stillness is when there is that opportunity for us to be with ourselves and to process our own experience. And our own experience is unique, and we are all having our own unique experience right here, right now. And we really process that best in stillness. So just, another practice is practicing tapping into stillness. That really, that's kind of it. Those are the sort of the legs of the table. Is that all good? Great. So, give this. We're going to be feeling. Let's sort of feel by just moving our body a bit. And what I would suggest, that this thread has come up already in the introductions. Things like mindfulness naturally combine with things like laughter yoga. As soon as we take laughter yoga out of its its exercise box and start to expand it, then mindfulness and laughter yoga are natural companions. And a really good way into mindfulness is through the body, just through the body. There's a whole dimension of, as we know, of how we can change our mind by using our body. One of the great sort of delusions is to think that to change our mind, we have to start sort of thinking differently. Well, actually, we can change our mind and our mindsets by being physical and aware of our physicality. So in our own way, let's just sort of start to move and just move and just move and just move. Just keep moving. Just keep moving. Just exploring different movements, in a kind of a curious just because kind of way. What's it like to move in this particular way? What's it like to move in that particular way? What's it like sort of wriggling my toes at the same time as sort of sitting in the chair? What's it like being connected with the whole of my body? What's it like sort of moving my shoulders and head and neck all at the same? What does it feel like doing all this? Not how do I do it? I mean, the how do I do it is the initial step. How do I sort of move my head and my right shoulder and my left leg all at the same time? But once we've kind of got that going, then what does it feel like to be doing this? It's all about the feeling of the movement. All about the feeling of the movement. And starting by just doing it and just doing it, and just doing it, and just doing it, and just doing it, and being curious and light-hearted, and maybe with a little sort of sprinkling of sort of playfulness, just allowing our body to move hopefully in an increasingly sort of free and loose way, but basically however we're doing it is fine and is wonderful. And it's great, you know, sort of sitting here as we are, realizing that we have an upper body that we can move around. But there's a magic bit as well that Sherry-Ann has already realized. We have a lower body. Oh my goodness, we can stand up. Oh my goodness, we have an upper body and a lower body. Oh my goodness. We have legs as well as arms. Oh my goodness me. Oh my goodness, look, a leg. A leg. Oh, it's a leg. Oh, two of them. You know, all of us who got two of them. Isn't that amazing? So it's like, and another fantastic practice is just free movement, and it really doesn't take long to master this. I mean, it only took me about 10 years to master it. And it's just kind of moving freely, just moving freely. And it is the most wonderful, wonderful practice. Free movement, free movement. And we do versions of this in every single Zoom. You'll recognize some of this from every single Zoom that you've been to. But what I encourage us to do in this, in our masterclass, you see, is to explore the quality of effortlessness. Okay, so it can be big, expansive movements, or they can be small movements. They can be fast, or they can be slow. But however we're doing them, explore the quality of effortlessness. How little efforts need we make to do whatever moves we're doing, and exploring sort of in an effortless way, making really large movements, either fast or slow, or fast and slow, just whatever rhythm, whatever we want to explore. But just looking always to, can we do it with even less effort? It's less effort, less effort, less effort, less effort. And the key for doing it with less effort, I would suggest, is by really feeling the feeling of it. Feel the feeling of moving with with the least possible effort. Moving with the least possible effort. And for us to clock what kind of difference that makes, we could try then sort of moving with effort, being sort of tense and sort of pushing, and then doing it with the same moves with the least possible effort. Now, this again, this can be another sort of, lifelong practice. Just how little effort need we use to move sort of freely and loosely. And of course, part of the practice is engaging the whole of our body, okay? And that specifically includes head and neck. Now, if we're not used to head and neck exercises, we need to be very careful, okay? But they are really great exercises to help us, A, sort of get out of our head, and B, get into the moment, and C, get into our body, and D, to have the whole of our body engaged in the process at the same time. And besides effortlessness, the least possible effort, the next stage is understatement. Understatement. And if we ever want to watch sort of understatement and really sort of see what it looks like and feel what it feels like, just watch a bit of reggae movement, reggae dance. My West Indian sort of brothers and sisters, just really understated movement, but it's completely free. Everything is loose. So practice everything being really loose, and be alert for where we are holding our attention. And and if we're not used to, for example, to head and neck movements, really make a point of engaging sort of head and neck movements in this process. To really, and it can be gentle. The movements can be small. they can be big and great and dynamic, and that's fantastic too. But they can be small, either big or small. Maybe alternate between the two should we want to, and keep feeling the whole process. Just keep feeling everything that's happening. Just keep feeling it. Keep feeling, and if needs be, really sort of practice having as many body parts in movement at the same time while breathing, being aware of our breathing, and remembering that our face is part of our body. And of course, the easiest way to relax the face is to smile. And the reminder, if we need this sort of learning point, which we all do sometimes, is that it takes a lot of effort. It takes far more muscle power, right, not to smile than it does to smile. And so relaxing the whole of our body is an invitation also to our face to relax. and in this kind of context, a relaxed face will generate a smile, and almost invariably it will. Even when we're on mute, Marianne, it'll generate a bit of kind of because this is celebrating being alive and enjoying the moment, and in particular enjoying our embodied awareness in the moment. So with a tiny bit of practice, which can carry on for the rest of our life, it's really practicing feeling, being physically, being embodied, being a physical sort of being, experiencing this thing called being alive. And just relaxing into the moment, and seeing how much we can relax into the moment while having everything in movement, and having a relaxed face, and breathing deeply at the same time, and doing it in the most effortless way we possibly can. So there's always something for our mind to be doing, you see. It can be sort of checking this and checking that, so it can be happily engaged, while we get on with this process of being alive and exploring being alive in this way. And one of the other things we are implicitly covering, you see, by being on our feet, is the fact that we can have this level of awareness while moving, while walking, for example. When we walk, so this, again, going back to the sort of chopping wood and carrying water, right? We can be, walking out. Oh, as Ellie's already done, to go and get the pint of milk. But we can do it in a completely sort of free and relaxed and really aware way, and be engaged with the whole of our embodiment at the same time as we're doing something that is incredibly sort of practical as swatting the black fly, or or getting the milk, or taking another sip of the cup of tea. Because this is a constant expansion. It's a constant. How much can we be aware of at the same time? Without forcing it, just by being aware, moving. Now, we can, of course, always sort of break this down into body parts, and that can be a really sort of fun thing to do. So while moving in the way that we are at the moment, and then focusing on, say, hands and wrists, and then arms and elbows, upper arms and shoulders. And kind of just noticing how when we start to put our attention on sort of body parts in this way, it can sort of amplify the whole sense of awareness of this process, and maybe even of the effortlessness. And the shoulders and neck and head and face, and remembering that there is actually the direct correlation between our face and our breathing, because we have tension in our jaw, means we'll have that tension will be transmitted to our neck, which will be transmitted to our shoulder, which will be transmitted to our rib cage, which will be constricting our breathing potential. So actually there's a direct line between a relaxed face, relaxed jaw muscle, and relaxed breathing. While walking. And if you think you're getting, whenever we think we're getting the hang of this, we just need to raise the bar. I just make it, no, just stretch our awareness even more. Because this is an infinitely expansive practice. And the only limits are whatever we are, our own limits of awareness at the moment. And the more we practice that, the more those limits will just keep expanding and expanding and expanding. And are we all doing okay? Are we all doing okay? Great. 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 So one of the other things I'd like to remind us and sort of point out to us is how incredibly simple this practice is, because we don't have to learn anything. We just need to practice doing it. And when we do it with an intention, with a joy intention, that is the end in mind. Doing with the end in mind, joy is the end point. That's why we are doing this. Then besides just sort of moving freely, let's add a little specific and deliberate sprinkling of joy into whatever it is we're doing. And we can add that into our own experience in whatever way we like. Either do it sort of through a mind intention, or through a body-based experience, or kind of a heartfelt experience. So however we want to do it, it's just great. It's just fine. Just finding our own way, but maybe being open to exploring. Oh, that's what it feels like to have a heart-centered joyfulness. Oh, this is what it's like to have an intention of joyfulness from the, or maybe from the feelings, from our gut. And at the same time, keep the free, natural, effortless embodiment process going. If we find that we start getting overly involved and say, oh, I really want to sort of to do the heart-based way, well, great, but maybe just modulate that just a little bit so we can stay in touch with the whole process. And the reason I'd suggest for doing that is that we then are able to stay nice and grounded in our own experience. And the reminder is, of course, when we are sort of grounded in our own experience, then the emission, the energy that we are emitting just in our life, let alone our own sort of laughter yoga or any other practice, that will also have a grounded quality in it. And a grounded quality is it's great, and it's great. And it's great. The reminder, when we are grounded, then in a way life can throw it at us whatever it will, and it will, of course. We all have this experience of curved ball after curved ball sort of coming our way. But I would suggest when we are nice and loosely grounded and flowing in this way and grounded, that we are in the best possible state we can be to deal with whatever it is that life is presenting us with. Whatever wonderful learning opportunities, whatever challenges, whatever is happening next in our life, if we are free and loose and in the moment and using all our resources and being nice and grounded at the same time, then I would suggest we are able to cope with anything and everything that arrives in front of us. I would suggest from my own experience, for example, both sort of in my own life, but also working with others, that feeling resourced in this way is a really nice platform for joy. When we feel that no matter what life is going to throw at us, we can handle it and process it. That can be a very reassuring and relaxing experience. And I would suggest that the more we are able to relax into life, the more enjoyable it becomes. And when we come into the moment in this way and practice being in the moment in this way, we are, for example, not in our story. We are not in our head. Because we are in the moment. We are in the moment. And if we are so in the moment in this way and really aware of being in the moment in this way and really noticing the experience of being in the moment in this way, it is fantastic and wonderful how often that simple process is itself a joyful one. Relaxing into the moment, using all our resources, our embodiment, the whole of our body, including that strange bit of our body called our face. As a dancer, I've done a fair bit of sort of natural dance and 5 rhythms and different types of sort of free dancing. It is amazing sometimes how fellow human beings can be dancing sort of freely with all their body apart from their head and neck, and apart from their face, it's like all this, but this is still really sort of tense. And so as a practice, it's really good to do a little bit of sort of face dancing and sort of facial yoga and ha 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 Now, as soon as any kind of ha 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 that starts to happen, that of course ramps up the breathing aspect. So then another dimension in this is really playing with our breath and our breathing while exploring our movement and our free movement and our relaxation and our least possible effort while breathing deeply with a relaxed face. Everything all at the same time. When we clock, and it can be a really, really big one, he says from personal experience. But actually, it's wonderful that we are all having our own experience. Okay, now whatever it is, so 8 billion of us on the planet, roughly, and it's wonderful that everybody is having their own experience. Now, as a concept in my mind, I find that very easy, right? As something to live with. When we think of the people in our lives who have the ability, this magic ability, to be our great teachers by pressing our buttons. Remembering that experience actually is just as valid as our experience. That living that is a wonderful ongoing challenge for some of us. And I would suggest everything we're doing now helps. All the movement, all the free movement, all the not letting energy get all stuck or blocked, and just keeping everything in process, sort of physically and with our breathing and with the sense of relaxation, relaxing and relaxing and relaxing and relaxing and relaxing and relaxing and relaxing, including our face. Ha 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 ha. Now, if you really want to go down this rabbit hole, then there's a fantastic rabbit hole. The practice of what we're doing now as a form of generating inner peacefulness, or releasing trauma, or making friends with our greatest teacher who's pressing all our buttons all the time. It can be really good practicing or doing all this and being in this place, and really sort of getting into this place that hopefully we're all in sort of now, and then bringing these other things up sort of to mind and letting them run through our awareness, run through our consciousness, at the same time as really being present to our own hopefully enjoyable, sort of a joyful present moment practice. And there is, for example, the process called VKD, which is visual kinesthetic desensitization, which is used in various forms of psychotherapy. And it's a really fast and really effective way of releasing trauma, and being able to be light with it, and increasingly light with it, and even lighter with it is transformative, is transformational, because it enables us to release a whole lot of sort of held emotion and memory and experience in a very sort of light way. So there are some incredibly sort of powerful potential applications for what we're doing. Just sort of moving, relaxing into the moment, relaxing into the moment, relaxing into the moment, breathing, and really being aware, just practicing just being aware, being aware of our awareness, just practicing. Least possible effort. And then I invite us to, whether we are seated or standing, it doesn't matter, just to make our movements smaller and smaller and gentler, and to close our eyes and to allow our body to come to a place of peaceful stillness. And with our eyes closed, the invitation to have our eyes closed and to relax and just feel. Just feel. Let's just stay in this process for maybe a minute or so, and I'll ding a bell, and we can very gently in our own time return. But the invitation now is just to be in stillness and allow ourselves to experience our own experience. And then with our eyes closed, keeping our eyes closed, I invite us to keep our eyes closed and be aware of the soles of our feet at the same time. And be aware of our breathing at the same time. And to make a point of connecting even more strongly, should we choose, with our own sense of stillness. other thing I invite us to do is, besides being aware of our own experience, have a sense of our collective group experience. While being aware of our own stillness and breathing, nice, relaxed, gentle, deep way, and being aware of the soles of our feet at the same time. Great. It might be nice, if it's okay for us, to unmute. So we're going to have a quick check-in and just check how we're all doing. Question number one, are we okay? Great. Question number two, in a way, of course, is, are we feeling alive? And question number three, of course, is, do we enjoy this experience of being alive? Is being alive? But getting those formalities out of the way. Did we connect okay with our own stillness?
Yes.
Great. Was there joy there? Great. So we think back to what we've done, which I don't necessarily encourage at all. Don't worry about the thinking bit. But no, all we've done is just relax more and more into the moment. That's actually all we've done. What we've done by focusing on the moment, hopefully we've all then experienced how the moment then just expands and expands and expands. When we look at nothing, it's actually enormous. Because there's nothing there. It's just wow. Now again, in a not thinking about it kind of way, can you see how there is a potential application in what we've done and your own life?
Yes.
Great.
Yes.
Great. So one of the things I thought might be nice, and I really don't want to, we're all members of all kinds of sort of groups and we've already got all kinds of things that require our attention every day, every hour. But it did run through my mind, you see, it might be nice to do two things. One, I'm keeping an eye on time, is very quickly, maybe a minute each. But it started with you came to mind first of all, Marianne, with your clay making, with your clay work. Why don't we all, for say 30 seconds, do a bit of joy-based clay work together? You know, really feeling the joy in molding the clay. Okay, feeling the joy in molding the clay. So we're still chopping wood and carrying water, you see, but we're doing it in a real joy-based way. Chopping wood, drawing water, molding clay. Great. I thought it might be nice if we can to go around each of us are very quickly adding this joy element to something we already do. So who would like to go next? Yes, Philip. Yes.
Well, I'm sorry. First of all, I'm so like chilled out. It's incredible. Secondly, applying it to writing. When I run writing workshops.
La 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 la. Oh, la 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 la. Oh, la 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 la. Fantastic, fantastic. Thank you. Who next? Who next? Yes, Martine.
When I come from work, I want, I think it will be very interesting to apply that before preparing the supper. I think it will help me just to embody, to be more conscious at the present moment, and not, I'm the kind of people who like to eat snack, and when I come to a supper, I have no more hunger. so this, I think it will help me to do that. Yeah.
So let's do a little bit of joy-based food preparation. La la la, oh la la la, oh la 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 la, oh la 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 la, mashing the potato, la beating the eggs, chopping the salad, Thank you. Who next? Yeah. Yes.
I'm enjoying the stillness, to be honest, so I'm not going to speak a lot. But mine is also writing. I'm a copywriter, and I do my best work when I spend 2 to 3 hours before I start work doing all of my daily practices. So writing or laughing to find flow.
Thank you. And then there were 3, because I'll go last, so that means then there are 2. Yes, Sherry Ann.
What I liked so much about this was, this is what I forgot, and that's what I needed to remember, was the joy in the movement. And I found myself yawning a lot, and it was just releasing I was just yawning and yawning and yawning. And I just found, because I tend to clench, like I wake up in the morning and I've sort of clenched, my jaw is clenched. So I just found so much relief in that. And what I often do in the morning is I do my my lion exercise, because I wake up and I go in the bathroom and I look at myself to make sure I'm still there. And I put my hands up like this and I go, ah. And it just relaxes all my muscles like in my face. So I really enjoyed that. This was wonderful. Thank you. It was remembering for me.
Yes. Mary. Oh, the lion book.
Oh, it was so fantastic feeling, because the whole day I was at work and my work dress, it's very tight. I cannot lift my arms. And always when I'm at work, I think of I cannot move my arms. But now I realized I can try, like, what can I move? And it's the neck, and it's really nice. So I try tomorrow when I'm at, no, not tomorrow, on Monday. I will try to just keep these small movements and to make me feel alive in my dress. And I really incorporate it in my work.
Right, so I'm now wearing a tight dress. I can't move my arms, but I can move my head and neck. And when maybe when no one's looking. I think what I've loved most, I've loved probably I loved the groundedness most. We did this, that, the other, this, that, the other. Then we, as we started reaching our still point, I actually found that journey to our still point, to my still point, to our still point, very joyful. It's kind of Please join me in a You see, and I really felt when we were in doing the grounded and the breathing and the feeling the joy, I really felt sort of tingles of tingles of vibration up and down my body, all up and down, up and down, up and down. Great. Time. One thing I forgot to say in the introduction is that time always goes really fast in these sessions. An hour and a half has just zipped away. Okay, encouragement number one after the session is to practice. It's to really sort of keep practicing during the week. Encouragement number two is, if it's okay with everyone, or if I would be so happy to set up a, we could maybe set up probably a messenger group, and post one exercise, just one exercise each during the week, just one. Okay, and I'd suggest that we don't use it for sort of, particularly being a guy, right? No chat, no blah blah blah. Yes, exactly. It's not a kind of, oh, hello. Did you have sort of 2 eggs or 3 today for your? It's not that kind of. We could just keep it really focused, and it could just be a resource for us. We could post one exercise during the week, just so we can. It'll sort of keep us on track. Hopefully, remind us just to keep practicing, and B, it's always, I find we always learn so much from each other's exercises, and it could be, it could be a sort of 60-second one, or it could be 30-second, or it could be sort of 2 minutes. But just if we're, it's a place where we could just post an exercise, minimal sort of blah blah blah, because it's just the exercise. If we want to talk to each other, we can sort of talk to each other sort of somewhere else. But just use this group. But we can just sort of use the group to post one exercise each during the week. How does that sound?
Great.
Great, I'll do that. Now, we've only overrun by 1 minute so far. But,
Yeah.
is there anything anyone would like to say, ask, inquire about, or share before we put a wrap on this session? Great, good. Well, in that case, first of all, see you next week.
Yeah.
And secondly, I think probably on behalf of us all, so I look forward to seeing the exercise that we share with each other sort of during the week. And otherwise, some of us can go and buy our milk. Others can go and sort of spot black fly. Others can go and have a beer somewhere in a Berlin sort of beer hall. Others could do that. Can prepare for joyful food preparation. Others can do a bit of joyful molding the clay. And others of us can do the Great. Okay, everyone.
Thanks so much.
Okay, thank you then. Okay, bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
See you next week.
Thank you.